Good morning, friends. Happy Sunday. Oh, my phone is on still. There we go. How are you? For people who watch this video not live later, this is the really awkward part, which is, traditionally the part of the video where you hook people in to continue watching, but they might leave because this is also the part where I stall, waiting for people to join me live. So I don't know. I guess welcome to the Rock and a Hard Place section of Virtual Coffee Club. Madeline, you made it. How are you? It's good to have you here. Good morning, Kathy. Happy Sunday, ladies. We're going to give people another moment to get going on a Sunday morning. And I can't believe, I don't know about you two, but is it crazy that it's the 20th of December already? Like, gosh, we are running out of time. Unless, of course, you're somebody who's decided to shift and change your Christmas dates this year. I've heard a few people talking about that they're just going to, people are planning on having gatherings of family or whatever into the new year. I mean, you don't have to have a date around it, I guess. I don't know. I've heard some people just wanted to cancel, right? I've heard some scenarios where people have packed up their Christmas stuff and put it away. They're canceling it. They're moving past it. They're going to pretend like it's just any other day. They're going to whatever. And again, each person has their own choice and what they want to do with that. I feel it's a bit extreme. I think that even though you are in a place where you might be mad or sad or a combination of the two, you can still have a great week. And I read an interesting thing yesterday that I'll share in a moment, but let's see. Chris is here. You don't have to cancel the holidays. What the hell? Agreed. And I think it's a really reactionary type behavior, right? If you think about maybe, and I would think people who are canceling holidays are probably people without kids. Would I be correct on that? Because you can't really do that to your children, or I hope that you don't. Good morning, Jackie. I think it's a reactionary type behavior. And if you think about kids, when they don't get their way or they don't get something to go exactly the way they want it to, they're done with it, right? I think I struggle with that with an 11, almost 12-year-old all the time. If it's not his way, it's not even worth doing. It's not even worth looking at. And so think about that for a moment. If that's the emotions that you have felt in wanting to just bail on Christmas, is you're probably acting with a childlike reaction, which, hey, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We want to embrace our inner child all the time to look at things, I think, to, I don't know, I want to have childlike behaviors, and I want to embrace and hold on to the magic of Christmas forever. I 100% believe in Santa Claus. I 100% believe in the magic that we can create around things when we choose to. Chris says, yeah, to each their own, whatever your comfort level is, follow it and carry on. Yeah, you know what? It's just where is it okay for someone, like it would be like the same as if you had a friend tell you that you couldn't celebrate Christmas the same way that you always did. You would probably like either agree or disagree, and you would move on for that and you would carry on. We are in an interesting time, my friends. We're in an interesting place. And I've had a lot of conversations that have sort of circled around this piece. I think Chris makes a good point in his comments that he's like, the government can't dictate what happens in my home. Jackie says, if what you make it, yes, it will look different, but how can you find the magic to put in it? Welcome, Corey. It's just that kind of thing. So I wanted to do a little bit of a soul check-in today. I wanted to see where you're at and where you're feeling and how that looks like. It being the 20th of December, we are 5 days away from the big day. And I hope that if you're someone who celebrates Christmas, I mean, because we've got people from all over the world who join us in coffee clubs. So we very much could have people who don't celebrate the holidays in the normal fashion. I don't want to say normal. That's not really the way I want to label that. In the same fashion that everybody else does, if that makes sense. So, I mean, do your thing, do it different, make up something fun, create a new tradition, just try something else. And you can be mad about it if you want to be mad about it. But what does that, how does that serve you? At the end of the day, if you choose the anger or you choose the canceling or you choose, is that going to serve you? And if the answer is yes, I want to cancel my Christmas holidays because it's going to make me feel better, and that's what will honest to goodness serve you in that moment, then okay. But if it's really not going to serve you in any way and it's going to make you feel worse, why do that? Madeline says she was going to cancel, but she took out the paints to create ornaments, filled bowls with chocolates, built a gingerbread house, went tree hunting, even went to watch twinkling lights. It's time to reflect on what was and what can be. Yeah, and I don't even know if looking backwards helps. Now hear me out for a second, because yes, I believe in memories. I believe in those things, I believe. But if we constantly hold on to the what was or what woulda, what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, you're not going to live in the moment of what is. Now, it's very cliche, and I get it's very Pollyanna-ish of me to say to live in the moment in moments when they're crazy and we're not liking them. But if you let go of, okay, let go of, and just trust in, doesn't have to have anything to do with government and politics, doesn't have anything to do with whatever, just trust in the moment created in front of us right now. And you can use words like, if you want to say what's created by universe, what is created by God, what is created by Jesus, what is created by whoever your creator is, whatever that higher power being looks like, or nothing. Just look at the what is in front of you right now, the what is, and how can you make that the most special, the most creative, the most magical, the most grateful pieces of time that we can create this week. Right? I appreciate remembering, like, you know, and when you connect with your family, and chunks of them we're going to connect with online this week. And there's a joyous time in sharing a memory of something that happened last Christmas, or the funny moment from 2 Christmases ago, or that year that crazy Uncle John did this, this, and this, right? I'm not saying we abolish our memories. I'm just thinking, if you were like, well, every year at Christmas, I normally do this and now I can't. That's not going to serve you. Remembering the cool things of other Christmases, yeah, 100%. Jacqueline says, I typically go to Scotland and it's not happening. And her 93-year-old mom Skypes you at 5 a.m. That's how you find happiness, right? And is it the same for Jackie to not be in the presence of her sweet mom? No, it's not the same. But she's going to have this great moment with her mom. And that's going to be a great memory that she'll also have, is remember the time mom at 93 was a Skyping queen, right? There's so many joyous moments. Yeah, and some people can choose to have Chris's experience of him not appreciating what's happening from authorities, right? That's not a bad place to be in. It's just a place. So I read this interesting thing yesterday, and it was talking about celebrating holidays versus celebrating holy days. Okay. And holy days, it's not a religious scenario. So don't, tune me out if that freaks you for a second. Holy days can be days like a birthday, the anniversary of losing someone in your life, the anniversary of meeting somebody. Maybe it's a wedding anniversary, a friendship anniversary, a day where you accomplished something. Maybe it was a day you hit a goal. Holy days are days that have meaning to you, that are outside a calendar that's created for you, if that makes sense. So let's start thinking about, okay, and these holy days could fall into what falls onto a calendar. But the interesting thing that I read was just about how we put so much emphasis and so much stress and so much expectation wrapped around these days that are printed out on a calendar for you versus really celebrating the days that are written on your heart, the days that are celebrated by your soul, the days that have significant meaning to your life. And maybe that, I was thinking, could be a cool, this is Sunday Morning Rambles, by the way, that could be a cool thing to focus on going into 2021. Right. And we're home, we're online creating things, right? Maybe it's the year you're going to put all this shit in the scrapbook that you haven't for 1,000 years because you've never had the time to do so. Maybe that pops up in, but maybe because it's so easy, you could go online and you can make a calendar nowadays, right? Super easy. You can fill it with the photos that you want to see on your calendar, and you can whatever, and then putting those holy days into your calendar, either in conjunction with or instead of. I mean, I guess instead of is kind of hard because a lot of life scenarios, i.e. with school, are wrapped around the calendar dates. But put those holy days and think about them. Put those days down that really mean something to you. Do you know what I mean? So I think a cool thing, maybe it's something you'd want to do on this beautiful Sunday if you've got a couple of minutes, if you're not doing the 100 things that you want to get accomplished before Thursday. Maybe you want to take a couple of minutes today or over the next few days before the start of January. I love the end of December because it becomes this reflective, it's such a reflective time for me. And maybe over the next few days, you would want to reflect on what are those holy days for you? What are those special dates that mean something? Write them out on a list. And I would challenge you, and I'm challenging myself in this, is to create a calendar for 2021 that highlights these days. And then building magical celebrations, which could be as simple as just taking a moment to reflect on it that day. You don't have to have parties all the time, but I mean, why not? But building something around these days that has significance to you instead of the dates you're told to have significance around. You know, a lot of people, example, think Valentine's Day is a Hallmark created marketing opportunity, yada, 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 which yeah, very well. There's a history around it that you could look up, but it really has turned into this example of that. So if you're not a fan of Valentine's Day, take it off the calendar. Pick a different day where you want to celebrate love in your life. And love can look like anything, right, friends? It doesn't have to be romantic love. There's a lot of, I think, societal pressures in really forcing that kind of scenario down our throats, but that doesn't have to be the case. So switch it up. Switch it up this year. Do something different. Go into a community calendar that you have for your community and put some of those dates on this calendar that you create for yourself. I mean, there's chances that those community events that you love, those big events that normally happen every year, may not happen again in 2021, but you could still put them on the calendar and celebrate what those mean to you. I don't know, right? Darlene's headed out to cut the tree down today. That's just in time for Christmas. Chris shares, for Christmas this year, let's just say our family will celebrate how we celebrated before. He's choosing to do what works for him and his family scenario. That's great, right? So what does that look like? What does that feel like for you? Oh, I got some hair in my eye. Anyway, that was some thoughts that I had today. What do you think? Do you like the idea of adding different things? Do you think I'm just crazy, rambly Sunday morning girl? That's fine too. We're all welcome to our opinions, but post in the comments and give me a soul check-in today. How are you really feeling? How's it looking for you? Do you need some support? I know, Madeline, I appreciate in your sharing this morning in that you just, you shared vulnerably that you kind of wanted to do some canceling. You kind of wanted to step out of it, but you did some of those traditional things that you love and do that ignite that Christmas spirit for you. I appreciate that you share that. How's everybody else feeling about it? What does that sort of looking like for you today on the Sunday before Christmas? Right? We are so close to this holiday. Really, that just reminds me that giant pile I have over there, I need to get wrapped. I have some cool activities this week. I think I've shared on several other coffees that I usually really love Christmas. I love the magic behind it. I told you I'm a believer in Santa, so I love this time of year. I love the real Santa who I talk to all the time. You know who you are. And I love the other folks who step in to play the role of Santa for people in community. I love that spirit. I love community, how community binds together during the holiday season. I love the community driven initiatives that get launched during the holiday season, right? People all of a sudden come up with new ideas in their businesses to help raise money for food banks or toys or the less fortunate or people who are down and out, or they're thinking more about their neighbor, right? Like I don't care. To me, I mean, don't get me wrong. We all have human tendencies that, like, getting a gift wrapped in beautiful paper and somebody thought so highly of me that they wanted to give me a gift is so fun. Gifts are fabulous, but they're not the driving force. What I love about this time of year is that community steps up, and we step up in so many big ways, and we become more kind, and we become extremely generous, and we let go of lots of things to help fellow man, right? That's the piece of Christmas that is magical and amazing. And that's the kind of thing that it doesn't matter what rule or law or scenario or whatever can ever change, friends. We have the choice always to step up and be humans to each other, always. So that's what I love about this time of year. And I see it happening still. And I see more Christmas lights on homes than I've ever seen before. And I think we're trying. We're really, really trying to step back into the role we fall into this time of year. My dream is that this kind of mentality and this citizen-driven explosion of helping each other out could happen more through the year. But I've also struggled with what I would refer to as Christmas spirit this year. I've shared that with you before, but I've been trying to find really cool ways that help ignite that. And I think for me, as being a really community person and being someone who my employment was driven in community activity, my sense of purpose is driven in community activity, and all of the things that really light me up inside are tied into those scenarios. And when they got pulled out from underneath us this year, there was a real loss of path through that time frame. And that's, it's so challenging to do. And so it's finding out what those things could look like. So how can I build up community spirit, for lack of a different term, in this time when I would normally be so busy doing things? And so I found other things to do and be a part of and help at that's been different for me this year. And it's awesome and it's helping, but it's still a struggle, right? It's still a struggle, and we all have them. There's not anybody that is immune to impact, right? And it's how we handle impact and how we step out of impact, and it's how we take the effects of impact and turn it into something moving forward that matters the most. And you guys, that's really the most place where I see the most amount of hope moving forward. And, I was in a conversation last night where it felt heavy and dark for a minute because the people I was chatting with were really feeling bleak about the state of where government is headed, is kind of where part of that conversation was for a moment. And I get it. And I'm not naive to the possibility of those things happening, but I have more hope coals burning inside of me than ever, because I think that where we're headed and what could happen next can be really freaking amazing. But we have to choose that. And there's some things that are out of our control. I get it. But there's a lot of things that are more in our control than we give ourselves credit for. So that's my thoughts on a Sunday morning. Sunday is always the day where I get really rambly. I don't know. It's a reflective day for me. But I would love to hear your what you're up to. I love that Chris is saying, they're headed out to the wilderness. They're doing a family picnic and fire. It's good for the soul. That is a great soul check-in, Chris. Thank you for joining us today and being a part of Virtual Coffee Club. It was so great to have you. Everybody who's been here. And I know there's you who are watching and not commenting, and I know you're back there, and I appreciate you being a part of it too. This whole thing was created for us to have daily check-in points, to keep connection going, and to let you know that you are not alone, that you have family. And we look different. We're a different kind of family, but we are all together checking in and keeping connection going. We are community, and community can take on so many different looks, aspects, feels, goals, right? Community is like that. So keep it going, and just know you're a part of this. You're not alone. And I'm so freaking grateful you're here. So grateful. Tomorrow morning for Coffee Club, my friends, we are going to be going on at 10 Mountain Standard Time instead of 9. Tomorrow starts our week of special guests. So I'm really excited to share those with you. And we'll also have some festive beverages. Yeah, I really wanted to do that today, but I just couldn't get up early. Tomorrow's a new day. We're going to do this. We're going to be festive-y AF all week, and we are going to find some joy moments together and share some time. So I can't wait to share this week with you. I'm really looking forward to it. And I can't wait for you to meet a few more of my friends who I think are going to bring you some smiles and joy. It's going to be great. So have an amazing rest of your Soul Sunday, my friends. Continue to share in the comments whether you're catching this later or just came in a bit late or whatever. Post in the comments. Give me a soul check-in today, how you're really doing. If you want to send me one privately, you can too. But just sometimes typing something out, the online version of saying it out loud is helpful in processing some of those things. So have an incredible rest of your Soul Sunday. Cheers to you, my loves. And we will see you back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.